Alright, so I'm futzing around here trying to get things ready and do the pre-show stuff, and, well, time kind of got away from me a little bit, so I'm a little bit more than my standard close to the mark in 5 minutes too, but, well, we'll do it and make it work and good stuff like that there. So I'm just kind of doing my stuff here. Cheating on the tablet by using the the keyboard that I have for it, because sometimes it's just easier rather than letting Android pop up little keyboard thing kind of do it. It's really annoying. Sometimes it just doesn't work. All right, so let's get things fired up on Facebook here and move out smartly and do stuff we need to do. And let's see here. Will it work better on grid view? No, that doesn't work. That's just annoying. Facebook timeline is just it's one of those things. It's just well, it's either there, it's not there, or it's kind of haphazardly just. It's annoying, man. Throw a little light on the subject here. You guys can hopefully possibly even see me. Let me see here. Do my little focal thing here and throw a little bit more light on. Yeah, that's about right. See, I have a piece of paper over the lampshade because otherwise I just have so much glare because the light's up above me and it's just annoying. Okay, well, anyway. 5 minutes too, let me get things booted up. So let me boot things up on the Facebook side. So, hopefully carrying on. Alright, so we're live on Facebook as well now. Of course, you guys know, we do have the shows archived over on my, this is being recorded on my Samsung S2 Galaxy tablet. And of course, I'm, stashing it later for usage on YouTube. I'm now also recording it also for prosperity's sake, maybe. Prosperity's sake. Also recording it on my Samsung S5 Galaxy smartphone. So I do have both units running concurrently, and hopefully I'm square. Hopefully I'm not completely like jacked up. I mean, I know I do potato view on on YouTube side, so hopefully that's kind of square. I mean, if it's a little bit cocked off, so, or whatever. I do have the grid lines, so I do actually cheat like that. Whenever I do camera work, I do put grid lines in the viewfinder, because that last little 10% off, it's just like, no! It kind of just drives you crazy. All right, so let me get things fired up here on the Facebook side. So Beetlejuice, live. I don't see anybody jumping in the room just yet, so hopefully people know that I'm currently doing stuff on Facebook. And, well, I'm now live on Facebook. So if anybody pops a room, that'd be great. If not, well, I'm still going to do the thing, because I'm not going to get anybody like giving me any kind of like verbal back and forth. I might cut it off shorter. I don't know. I mean, that's one of those things that's nice about a podcast is you can see the the before and after and in between and all the rest of it, and you basically can jigger around with things and make it work. We do have a very, very, very fat thing, a stack of stuff here. I will get into coronavirus. I will get into the impeachment lightly. I will touch on a couple other things. And mostly, if I get to hoist the petard of more than a few Democrats, I will be completely content with myself because, well, things will be just good like that. Trying to get my camera angle just a little bit better. It's really, really, really hard to square things up because in the tablet, the camera is off. It's not in the center. The center would be like pretty much up around in like this region. That would be like in the center. Bev Hunted, and appreciate you coming by, hon. In the center of the tablet, it would be basically like up in this general region. For me, it'd be like the camera would be straight up in the center, as you were looking at a tablet per se. But because I took a tablet and put it on its side, so I have the widescreen view, the camera is off on the, well, for you guys, it's going to be passenger side. For me, it's on the driver's side or top of the tablet. And essentially, oh, Cynthia, appreciate you coming by, hon. Have the ladies in the room tonight. So essentially what it does is it puts the camera on the quote unquote, doing air quote things, putting quote unquote on top of the tablet. So essentially, if you were to look at it, it'd be like the skinny piece of paper standing up, it would be the camera on top, but because I've turned it sideways and I'm using it like a laptop almost, as it were, the tablet camera is off on the the left-hand side or your right side because, cameras flip things in reverse. All right, so concurrently now looking at things and looking at stuff going back and forth. Logan Ray, appreciate you coming by. You get your gold star for attendance as well. Let me scroll, and I usually put on a fairly fat stack of stuff, and we have a fairly good fat stack of stuff here. And we scroll. Okay. We are now 5x5, good to go, and ready to looking stuff like that there. Logan, I was kind of looking at stuff on your west coast. I was looking at actually on the map and looking at stuff on at BC Victoria. I was looking at some stuff there, and it might actually be something that actually has something to do with maybe vacation time. I don't know. We haven't really gotten into that just yet. Mrs. Dude and I are kind of kicking around ideas and looking at stuff. And if you belong to the big box stores, they are constantly pestering you to go, hey, why don't you buy one of these XYZs through us and you'll save money? So it might be one of those things we'll get into, and we'll talk about it later. But, I have little ears around and I can't let little ears hear what I'm talking about, so I'm going to promptly shut up about such item. So anyway, I was talking about, obviously looking at that side of your country, and you guys know Victoria, BC. All right, so basically that would be like the westernmost state in Canada, unless you guys, no, that is your westernmost state. After that, you basically just you run smack dab into Alaska. That's about as west as you're going to get. All right, so anyway, looking at things in the news. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but there is a hugely embarrassing video out there right now that Bernie Sanders on his Iowa team, one of those guys apparently got off the reservation, and he was talking about how great gulags are and communism and all the rest of this falderall, and it was yet another case of Project Veritas hoisting these guys by their own words. Wow, if you guys see this video, and I mean, it's like striking at how badly this guy completely, how do I say this politely for mixed company? No, let's see, how would I say that? He positively fudge-packed and gave complete and total, let me go with an audio clue here. He got more than just a little bit into it, too hard, too fast, and he went just a little bit too much into, let me find the appropriate file here. Yeah, he went more than just a little bit too far into, that's exactly what he did. He went way too far into more than just a little bit of... That's right. He said, of all things that you probably never, ever really want to talk about in polite company, how great communism is, how great deliverance, the sound effects basically chime it out for this guy. But Bernie's guy was talking about, how much they are in the tank for the communist side of things, and Bernie is a quote-unquote good party member. Oops. Oops, like the tweets or whatever the guy did, or any of the other public activities the guy did are gone. All those guys are now on lockdown. They do not have any public access to say anything further about, hey, let's talk about this stuff in public and completely hoist our guy by his own petard. No, it got shut down with a big quickness. And Bernie's guys, well, they're being honest. I mean, that's the one thing you can always count on about a communist or a socialist, is if you listen long enough, they're going to tell you their intentions, okay? They just can't hold back. They can't stop themselves from being completely honest about what their truest wishes are. And they really want to basically have that which sucks the most for society being part of your daily existence. They did it. They did it properly, and they hoisted their own petard. But yeah, man, Bernie was like, oh, close all of it. Freak out, freak out, freak out. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but of all things, Jim Acosta walked up, and I don't know the setting. I basically just pulled the video off of Twitter and put it on Facebook. This one's coming back on, like, the 22nd, so it's a couple days ago. And Ivanka Trump was walking around. So here comes Jim Acosta. Yeah, that Jim Acosta. Right, that guy. That guy that comes in and basically, that guy had just,
Death! By snoo-snoo!
Oh, no. There's more than snoo-snoo. He definitely can't help himself from being how he is. There is more than just...
Death! By snoo-snoo!
Oh, there's more than death by snoo-snoo. He goes in, hard-charging Jim Acosta, walks up to Ivanka Trump. He's got the microphone. He's like, so, Ivanka, do you feel blah, blah, blah about your dad being impeached? And she's just like, I'm obviously so far away from you. I obviously have had proper breeding. Obviously, I have way more money in my bank account than you do. And you're just not even worth my time, so, I'm walking right past you. You're not even worth my breathing the same air. And Jim's like, no, Ivanka. And he's waving the microphone around, and she's just like, she didn't even look at him. She was like, you know what? You're a spot on the wall that I'm not even going to notice. And pretty much she just went right past him. It was glorious. If you guys get a chance to watch that video, I posted it up on my timeline, January 22nd. And oh man, like father like daughter, she basically just wiped the floor with him by ignoring him. It was glorious. Absolutely glorious. When Trump has to shoot him down, and it's fun to watch, Jim Acosta's not getting any love from the Trump family this year, I'll tell you what. And it's starting early. He's not getting any love from the Trump family. Oh, man, it was fun to watch. I don't know if you guys have been catching up or not, or trying to keep up on things. Those guys up in Canada, you might get the news stories, you might not. Obviously, if you're watching CNN, you're probably going to get, like, the corrupted news flow of things. But there's been the story that got out of being in Puerto Rico, and I was in Puerto Rico last summertime. I mean, I saw the place firsthand, and it's really recovered nicely from, the hurricane damage it had. And I was cruising around with a local guy that was giving me a tour. I literally hired a local guy to drive me around for a few hours. And considering the price of entry, $50 a person for a 2-hour tour for the touristies is not a bad price. And the guy was very, very knowledgeable. I mean, pretty much I was throwing a bazillion questions at him trying to get a flow of the place. And he was exceedingly cool. He was exceedingly nice. And he knew the place literally up, down, left, right, and center. He knows Puerto Rico. Anyway, so we're driving around. And I speak some Spanish. And I'm looking over and I start chuckling. And he's like, oh, you know what that means? I was like, yeah, they don't like the new guy, do they? And he's like, no, they don't like the new guy at all. So anyway, the new governor is really not the most popular of guys. If you've been keeping up on things, they recently opened a warehouse and there was all kinds of aid supplies that was left over from the hurricane that was sent over by FEMA on order of Donald Trump. Now, let me explain to you, if you guys don't know how things work. Obviously, the Canadians might not know the election process to some degree in the United States, but the United States president is elected only through the 50 states in the Union. That can be basically the 48 contiguous, Alaska and Hawaii being the two outshoots. None of our territories being Guam, Midway, Puerto Rico, any of the island nations down in the Caribbean, any of the other places around the planet, they do not elect the U.S. president. Only the 50 states of the Union, United States. Those are the only electors of the U.S. president at all. Now, here's the messed up thing for the Puerto Ricans. The Puerto Ricans are considered quasi-United States citizens. They don't need a passport to come here. I don't need a passport to go there. I can fly right into San Juan. All I need to do is have my driver's license state, boop, I'm this person. They go, okay, cool, come on in. No issue at all. American currency is utilized there. American driver's licenses are utilized there. Essentially, the only thing that's really done very, very locally is if you live there. Because if you live there, that's when you're going to do all the proper paperwork done in, Puerto Rican. So essentially, the Puerto Rico, which is what they usually call themselves, the Puerto Rico, those guys do some things that are quasi their nation and quasi the United States. Now, one of the things they do not do is they do not elect a United States president. That said, they do have our protections. They do have a lot of our standard, financial stuff going back and forth. Importing stuff to Puerto Rico is just like mailing it to another state. It's absolutely no question whatsoever. It's very, very easy. For them to deal with anything in the United States is absolutely painless. It's like literally like, okay, well, we want to do this, that, the other thing, bing, 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 bing. The facilitation of it is such as that's merely just what's the tax load going to be for them versus us, and of course the local taxes. The international taxes really don't come into play. The main thing they do not do is they do not elect a U.S. president. That said, the aid being sent to them and not being utilized by the local FEMA guys was merely to put a bloody nose on Donald Trump, and it had no bearing whatsoever on the United States election other than trying to make him look bad in the world press. So it's now come out that this is being reported by NPR, which is not, and I do mean not even in the slightest, a means of very right-wing news agency, but they're reporting that a top Puerto Rican official in the government corruption scandal has been arrested by the FBI. Read like the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation has busted this person because they did all kinds of subterfuge, hiding stuff that needed to be utilized via and needed by FEMA. So that's bad juju, and that's really not good stuff, and that's stuff you just don't do. But they did it merely to make Donald Trump look bad. Oh, he's not sending us anything. Our country is falling apart at the seams. And of course, they would have the really, hard-charging, social, screaming Mimi type going, oh, he's so terrible what he's done to our country. It's this, that, the other thing, da-da-da-da-da. And I saw the video where they opened this warehouse, and the locals were walking in there, and they were like, well, this stuff's here. It's already paid for. It's ours. We're taking it. And there was nothing but skids, and, no, I'm talking about skids. I mean, like wooden pallets with like stuff on it. They're like, you see those wooden platforms that they take out of the back of tractor trailers and off of trains and stuff. That's a skid. And it was nothing but skids and skids and skids of equipment, gas cans, food, hygiene products. So much water that the water had actually started to break down, and the bottles had actually collapsed, and there was like water puddles all over the floor. So probably the water was not any good, unless it was seen to still be intact. But all that equipment and all that food and all that aid material was standing by. Now, like I said, I speak some Spanish, and they were rapid fire, pissed off, very, very pissed off. And trust me, I'm from New York City, so I grew up with Puerto Ricans. I know pissed off Puerto Rican Spanish, trust me. And it was usual statements of, this is crazy, why is this stuff here, why didn't they help us, why didn't they give it to us, why were they doing this just to simply make him look bad, we needed this, why wasn't this given to us at the time of need? And that is literally all the statements I was hearing in Spanish, and they were beyond pissed. So they knew what the story was, and Puerto Ricans, they're not BS artists, okay? Pretty much if you tell them something, it is what it is. They're used to guys being corrupt, but I think they're pretty much getting sick of it at this point, and they're probably about ready to clean house in their local government, which needs to have happen. You can only be dealing with corrupt a-holes for so long before finally you're just like sick of it. You say, look, there's got to be something better than this. So that's where we are with that one. One of those guys got busted, if not multiples of those guys have gotten busted. So maybe they're just starting to clean house right about now. Maybe the FBI is getting tired of trying to set up Donald Trump for something stupid he didn't do. And maybe they're actually doing their job of being the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Horrific. This is conservativefighter.org. Judge Hunter Biden must appear in court after violating order to turn over financial documents. Wonder why that is. Maybe this house of cards that they have going on right now in the Trump impeachment really is sheltering Hunter and Joe Biden. If you got a guy that you're trying desperately to beat Trump, let me take a little sidestep here for a second here. Why is it that Democrats and these screaming Mimi socialists keep going on about like, oh, we need young blood. We need somebody better to run everything. We need somebody who's not the old white male. That's racist to have old white males running everything. So who do they want to hoist and tow their, whatever you want to call it, but carry their water? Who do they want? Joe Biden, who is like 70-something, 6, almost 8. Bernie Sanders, who's also in his later 70s. You got both these old guys, who happen to be white guys, both these old white guys that you're trying to say are going to be the guys to carry on and be the pantheon of virtue for the Democrat Party because, well, they're that guy that you think he's...
I've got balls of steel.
No, they don't have balls of steel. No, sound guy, they do not have... No, if anything,
Ew!
Yeah, that's more... That's more in line with what you got when you got Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. You do not have,
I've got balls of steel.
No, you don't have that one at all, sound guy. Nope, it's not that one at all. It is, yeah, it's... Oh, no. Oh, he's into the fart catalog. Okay, well, anyway, so yeah, he's not that guy. He's definitely not going to be that guy. Neither of them are that guy. They're more like the wrong guy. So, what's the best thing you can say about those guys if they ever got into office?
Fatality.
Well, I don't know about that, dude, but I definitely think it wouldn't be good for them to go into office and,
Relax, don't do it.
No, well, they'd definitely be relaxing in there because they're not really like, well, they're not hard chargers, okay? They're definitely not the guys who are going to be doing the things and, well, you know, doing like massive, just introspective and looking at problems and seeing issues for what they are. And, well, I think actually if they go into office, it might be... Oops. Somebody shock him, please. I don't think they're going to be that guy in office for very long because, well, it's just going to be a very short run with those two because they don't look the best, man. Bernie's already had a heart attack trying to, like, you know, go through the throes of being elected. Biden just does not look healthy no matter what they do to him. He just does not look good, okay? He doesn't. He just doesn't, okay? It'll be a case of, okay, let's get him in. Oh, well, he fell again. Hey, sir. Somebody's taking a ride. And I don't mean like in the back of the limousine. All right, so anyway, all the information now is going to be getting out there. It's going to be very interesting to see what shakes out when all the Bidens and this Ukrainian thing and the Russian thing, and, you know, there's so much obvious tertiary, just suspicious, hinky crap. I mean, you have Binh Minh is like, you know, oh, well, you know, I'm the guy that you have to talk to. Binh Minh happens to be a Ukrainian army officer. He speaks fluent Russian. He speaks fluent Ukrainian. I tend to think maybe he might be more than just slightly beholden to things happening in the Ukraine. He's not going to be that guy that you're going to say, yep, he's going to be 100%, all for the United States, because he's never actually shown that kind of character. Blast him as his dude. He's never shown that kind of character. If anything, Binh Minh's got a history, and I've gotten into it before. When he was trying out for Ranger School, they referred to him as a chow thief. And that literally is the guy that steals food. If you know anything about Ranger School, the U.S. Navy SEALs, when they go through SEAL training, they eat like horses, man. They have as much food as they ever want to eat, and they're working their asses off, and they're blowing through scads of calories. They're probably burning like, you know, probably 7,000 to 9,000 calories per day with training. Easily. And they're eating like horses trying to keep up with it. In Ranger School, you are trained to do things on the absolute worst case. Oh crap, my life sucks right now. I got 3 MREs and I have 4 days of travel. So that's what they're trying to do to you while you are in Ranger training. It is not unusual for people to lose 15 to 30 pounds training in Ranger School. So literally, they give you one MRE per day, which is 1,400 calories at its best. So you have 1,400 calories to try to make up the deficit for 7,000 to 9,000 calories per day. So you're always hungry, okay? You're always scrounging, and that's one of the things they're trying to teach you is, you know, how to live off the land and how to deal with it, and just basically, you know, how to go through and, you know, hack it and deal with it, and it's not fun. Anyway, so what Binh Minh was known to be is a chow thief. Literally like chow, like food. And he was known to be the guy who probably didn't lose as much weight as the other guys because he was stealing other people's stuff and eating it. And now the other thing too is also there is generically a bronze, I think it's the Bronze Star or something, and it's one of those things that's cultural in the U.S. military. There was a time period where pretty much if you were like, versus getting a good conduct medal, you would get the bronze, or you would get, some rank. I think it may have been a good conduct medal. Excuse me. I don't want to give anybody, special accreditation when they don't deserve it, but it may have been like a good conduct medal or something. And it was kind of like one of those ones where, they just kind of gave it to him almost like a participation trophy. And it was kind of seen as almost unearned for you to receive it at that time period. So it was disallowed, and no longer did they apply that medal. Well, pretty much everybody in Ranger School who had a career in the Army at that point in time earned that medal, and they got it in what's called the salad bowl, where they basically have all their ribbons and stuff. Binh Minh doesn't have that medal. And there's a reason why he doesn't have that medal. It's because his superiors didn't like him. And they thought, well, you know what, dude? You are completely undeserving of this, and you are just not going to get it, so bugger off.
Oh, my.
I don't know about George Takei, but yeah, he got told to bugger off. You ain't getting, go away. You have not earned a special accreditation that pretty much everybody gets as a participation. But we see you as such low rapport, you are not even earning this medal. Get away. Go away. Don't even try it. You suck. So anyway, that guy he's a piece of crap, man. Everybody really pretty much hates his guts. And speaking of other people who don't really like other people, I don't know if you guys saw this, but supposedly in the Saudi Arabia, at the holiest of holy places for Islam, there's a mosque in Islam in Mecca, which is like their place. And it's like, I think they have something called the Hajj. I think that's where you go there and you supposedly go to the place, you walk around it 3 times or something in clockwise or anti-clockwise. I forget, but you walk around it 3 times or something, and it's this pilgrimage where you start at one place, it's a long, long, long walk, and then you make yourself to the stone of something or other. You walk around it 3 times, and then that's basically seen as you've made your pilgrimage on the Hajj or whatever. I think it's on the Hajj. I'm not exactly good on Islamic phrases, but anyway, so what I thought was kind of humorous, and this might be the Almighty with a sense of humor, but they have a plague of locusts and cockroaches in Mecca right now. I've never really seen plagues of locusts and cockroaches over the Wailing Wall or the other most holiest of places in Israel for some reason, but hey, it could happen. I mean, but I haven't seen these things, and for some reason, it's happening in Mecca. Might best be a sign that maybe you guys might want to just tail back just a little bit. Try to be a little bit nicer to people. Just a little, okay? Just a little bit. Scrolly. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but the whole thing about like the royal family and Markle and Harry and all, I really don't even want to touch on that at all, okay? There's no reason in the world why anybody needs to have any deep involvement whatsoever with the royal family, their kids, and, what other exploits they're going into. I've even asked a Brit once before. It's like, dude, what is the point of the royal family? And his mate, I don't effing know. They're like museums. We just have them. So that's the British opinion on where the royal family is. I mean, it pretty much are carryovers. I know you guys in Canada got some carryover stuff from it, but it's not like they're directly going, oh, no, the crown, you must this, that, and the other thing. I know you guys got a lot of carryover traditional stuff, but I don't think it's really that bad. But anything is possible when you start talking to Brits. Anything is possible. Just add more like glitz and flair and dress it up, and if anybody can make a uniform that's completely just too much, it's the Brits. I mean, those guys, they take on the Germans, and the Germans are like, oh no, that's too much. You'll keep going. It's too much. Your uniforms are too heavy, and there's all this other stuff all over it. Nah, it's all you. You'll go keep going. And they do. It's like even then the horses start getting dressed up. Unbelievable. I do find some other really funny and humorous things on the other side of the aisle. Supposedly, the Virginia Democrat was terrorized from the Richmond gathering on Martin Luther King, from the huge gun rally. 22,000 plus people showed up, completely peaceful. It was spotless when everybody left. There was absolutely no incidents. Nobody was arrested, and there was no drama. I would reckon to say that probably something like that, you were going to be probably the safest person on the planet, surrounded by a bunch of people armed up like that. I repeated it from last week, but I loved the guy with the Barrett 50. That was just absolutely epic. But there was nothing truly to fear. But it terrorized Richmond. Dude, it was around the state capitol. If anything, it terrorized you. It didn't terrorize the average Joe Average, because Joe Average really, truly doesn't care about the state capitol except for how much you're taxing him on a daily basis. That is his only care about Richmond as it is. He really has no worries whatsoever, because you guys truly don't really do a whole heck of a lot. All you do is, okay, if you want to truly understand what the government does, is it doesn't give you anything, it takes stuff away. That's literally it. That's my libertarian statement for today. Government doesn't give you stuff, it takes stuff away. That and police are fun suckers. They take your fun. They just do, okay? Let's see. This is from PJ Media. 90% of the racism in the United States comes from the Democrat Party and the left. Well, obviously, they're the party of segregation. They're the party of Jim Crow. They're the party of continued family displacement and destruction of the nuclear family in the African American community. And they pretty much have tried to keep everybody on the reservation, truthfully, literally, and absolutely, just like the Indians. If you want to know how the government works, ask any American Indian. They'll be glad to give you the full statement on what they think about how things work, because they have gotten the, they haven't just gotten the tip. No, they gotten the whole arm, and they got turned into hand puppets, because that's the way the government works. They don't give you just a little, they don't give you just a little tap on the BB. No. They just all the way home. They turned you into a hand puppet. You're going to get your proctological massage, reaching up and touching your tonsils. That's how the government works. Scroll. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but also in Space Force, there is a former Navy SEAL. This is coming from military.com. This one's actually really cool. I remember reading about this guy once. This guy is a Korean American, and let's see, Dr. Johnny Kim, and I do read Johnny as Jonny. Johnny Kim. He's only 35, okay? He's been a Navy SEAL. He's now trained up to be a doctor, like MD. Also, he has now joined NASA, and he's going to be the first SEAL to go on a mission into space. So this guy is literally, he's done it all. He's been an ass kicker. Now he's a doctor. Well, no, wait, no. He's now an astronaut, and he's part of Space Force. Yeah. This guy literally has brought himself up by the bootstraps, because his parents rolled out of South Korea, came into the country in the 1980s. This guy has made his own way and busted ass hugely. Went to SEAL school in Coronado, was a special operator in SEAL Team 3, and including combat medic, sniper/doctor. So he basically zaps the guy. The guy's laying on the ground bleeding out. He comes running up to him. He's like, "Oh man, that guy really wanted you dead. Here, let me fix you up, pal." So he can work both sides of the battlefield. That is multitasking. That's good stuff. Let's see. Crawled a story trying to save a wounded friend. So basically, he tried to save the guy, and he needed a surgeon, needed a physician. Did eventually get him to one. The feeling of helplessness was very profound to me. That's why he became a doctor. Wow. He's still in active duty as a lieutenant stationed with NASA. So he's still in the Navy. He's still a SEAL. They can never take that away from him. He's still a SEAL. Now I'm just wondering how you stick the Budweiser on a flight suit. That would be cool, man. I would love to see that. They showed a picture here of him here in one of the test rigs. They're going to actually to lower him in a water tank, do zero-G training in water. It's one of the best simulators we have on the planet for, learning how to work on stuff in space. And they can actually, put you on this hoist mechanism and kind of neutral out your actual floating, and they make it feel almost like you're in space. So that's truthfully one of those things they do to train the guys how to operate things. And the worst part about it is trying to work on anything in space, you basically have 10 thumbs. Because you literally have the end of the fingers of the gloves is literally like about the size of a bottle cap, and that's about as good as you're going to get. They're really not the most dexterous gloves, Because if you've ever watched that series that was going on Mythbusters, or it's now actually, I think, on YouTube on Tested channel, where one of the guys is going on about, like, trying to make his own spacesuit glove. Well, he made a spacesuit glove, and it looked great. And then he put it in a vacuum chamber, and as soon as he exposed it to the vacuum, it just went, and it, like, plumped up, and it got rock hard, and he was like, I can barely move my hands. So that's one of the problems they actually have with spacesuit technology, is not so much the fact that you're trying to keep the vacuum out. The problem is you're trying to keep the air in. So you have this fabric suit that's basically like a big-ass balloon. It's inflating, and then you're trying to move around in it. So that's part of the problem with the technology, is you're now also fighting the suit that's now pressurized and not wanting to bend, because you're dealing with all this compression and expansion, and all the technology as such is it's trying to hold it in and keep you from exploding in a vacuum. So that's part of the problem too, is you also have to learn how to actuate and use the equipment. Really not the easiest thing. Now, one of the couple tricks that they do actually in space is they do reduce your air pressure. So it might be closer to you being in like a high altitude versus being like down, normal sea pressure, which is like 14.7 pounds. They might actually drop it down to like 11 or something, or 10 pounds. So it's basically like being to like, maybe like 12,000 feet. So you might have to slow down a little bit, bump in a little bit more oxygen, but the air pressure is a lot lower. So the suit isn't like super inflated, and you're like fighting all this constricting and expanding and stretched out stuff that's now like wanting to open up too big, that they have all this technology to keep it from expanding too far. But yeah, the dude did all that stuff. He is a SEAL. He's got more than 100 combat missions. He's got a Silver Star and a Bronze Star with Combat V. He's a badass. And then he went and became the Doctor. Wow. So he's selected now for the NASA's Artemis Program. Artemis Program is a program where they're intended to either go to Mars or they're intended to go back to the moon. Let's see. Artemis Program is an ongoing crewed space flight program carried out predominantly by NASA, U.S. commercial space flight companies, and international partners such as the European Space Agency, the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency, and the Canadian Space Exploration Agency. Okay, so we got the Canucks on board. Oh, by the way, Logan Ray, thanks for the arm. That thing looked so badass when I was down in Florida and I saw the space shuttle there. That was cool. And it has a big Canada sign on it. So don't even worry about that. Everybody knows where it came from. And it was you guys. So hang on a second here. Let me keep myself honest. I forget which shuttle that is. NKSC. That is going to be Space Shuttle Atlantis. That's what that was. Space Shuttle Atlantis is the very last space shuttle to fly a space shuttle mission. That was Space Shuttle Mission STS-135. So that was the very last space shuttle mission. That space shuttle is currently on static display in the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. So if you guys want to check that out, Cocoa Beach, Space Coast, yeah, it's there, man. And it was really cool. But yeah, it is definitely a Canadian arm. You guys built that arm for us. We stuck it on the space shuttle, and it grabs and moves things around. It does everything cool like that. I don't know if you guys actually did the arm that's on the International Space Station, but you know what? If you guys built the first one and it works so good, why change things? NASA's kind of lazy in that regard. They say, okay, if it works and we like it, let's keep using it. So maybe you guys built us another arm that's on the space station, which would be cool. Everybody throws something on that thing. It's huge at this point. So anyway, yeah, the Space Shuttle Atlantis is currently on display in Kennedy Space Center, which is in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Good stuff. Space Coast. Now, they call it Space Coast in Florida because literally that's the east side of Florida where they do all the rocket launches, and there's all kinds of other stuff there. And some of the technology that's built there is actually not too terribly far away, so that's why they call it Space Coast. That's it. Port Canaveral is actually about 5 miles away, so almost about 10K. About 10K away almost. And you can actually see that big square assembly building if you go on a cruise ship. And I did. I was on the cruise ship and I was taking pictures of it. It's about almost 6K, almost 10K away, almost 6 miles, about 5 miles away. And you can actually see the assembly building, which is just massive. Let's see. Scrolly. So yeah, that guy, Johnny Kim, keep an eye on him. And he's going to be really cool to watch, a SEAL in space doing missions. That's just cool. That's just, one of those space geek things that I just can't help, but just go, yeah, that's so neat. Yeah, because I'm a space geek. So anyway, scrolly. The FISA court admits that Carter Page's warrants were not valid. This impeachment thing is such a sham because from its initial outset, it was even bad precursor. Mostly because Pelosi said, yep, it's now valid because we say it's valid. It's like, no, you didn't take a House vote, so it's not even valid. It's like saying, okay, we just searched the guy's car, we got all this evidence. It's like, did you have a warrant? Well, no, but it's bad stuff. We got him dead to rights. It's like, no, it's from the poison tree, dude, because you have bad evidence. So, from its outset, this impeachment is a sham, which is why Trump keeps referring to it as a sham. It's a sham. Excuse me one second. I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but this whole coronavirus thing, I truthfully am not the slightest bit worried about the coronavirus, mostly because they've only found, a couple people that have it. Those people that they found have it, they jumped on them immediately. They're not going around and spreading out to other people. It's not as communicative as they say it is, okay? It's not like you just walk by some guy and goes, and that like 50 other people have it. It's not like that at all. Also, if you were on a jet aircraft and the guy's in the front of the plane going for the whole flight, if you know anything about an airplane, you can ask anybody on the air staff, how often does the air switch around in an aircraft? They'll tell you it just switches around constantly. There's no stale air in a plane, mostly because planes have to have fresh air because they're an atmosphere that is thinner. So you need to pump more air into the plane because the plane needs to have a higher altitude outside than inside. Now, that's one of those things people, oh, yeah, my ears really pop in the plane and blah, 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 blah. Well, there's a reason why. It's because you're at 30 to 40,000 feet, but inside the plane, it's equilibrium of about 8,000 feet. So that's why you need to keep blowing air into the thing because you have the difference of like massive amounts of air pressure. So then you're thinking to yourself, well, self, where do you get all this air pressure from? Well, if you look at the wings, there's these two big air pumps. They're called engines. They suck in air, they squirt the air through, they add some fuel, they blow it out as exhaust, and some of that air is recirculated, goes back into the plane, and actually makes the plane either warmer in the interior or adds air pressure into the interior. And one of the other little secrets is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like a plane sitting on the tarmac before it takes off. It's not running. There's a reason why it's not running. It's because if you run a jet aircraft, you're burning 7 gallons a minute of fuel. Well, that adds up. So if you run something called an APU, or auxiliary power unit, which if you look at the back of any jet aircraft, not you mean any jet aircraft, commercial aircraft, you'll see a small exhaust at the back, and it'll look almost like the exhaust on like the jet engines themselves. Why? Because it's a small jet engine called a turbine. And what that thing does is when they land the plane, before they plug in outside or shore power, what they'll normally do is they'll fire up the APU if they have a situation. As a matter of fact, if they're in flight and they need more power, or if something's going wrong, or if something else is weird, or if they need to do something else with the aircraft, they can reach up above, click, and they turn on the APU while they're in flight. So if there's a situation where one of the engines goes down, they can fire up the APU. Typically what happens is simply this. Trying to start a jet engine requires so much power that it just doesn't have enough batteries. So literally what they do is they have the APU going, or they have shore power where they walk up and they just, plug into the plane, and guess what they plug it into? Oh yeah, an APU on the ground on a cart. So most times what they have is they have the APU. The APU spins up to full speed, and that's why you hear something whining like crazy, and then you hear the jet engine on the right start up. So your right engine will start up, and then what they have is something called an air bleed system. They reach down between the seats, and they turn this knob. Literally, they turn a knob, and it takes the air out of one jet engine, squirts it across the plane to the other jet engine, spins that up, and in the process of that engine being spun up by the air pressure of the bleed, the APU throwing power to it, it'll start the second engine up. Now, there's a situation where they got to do it within a certain amount of time, Or, in the process of running that engine to fire up the other engine, they're overstressing that first engine, then they got to turn that bleed back off and let the engine cool down before it overheats. So that's all technology that's on board. It's all kind of cool stuff. It's me kind of like going on a tangent here, but that's some of the stuff that they have on the planes. Just a lot of airflow. So that's why I'm not even the slightest bit worried about somebody coughing their guts out in front of me and me getting sick with coronavirus or anything else. Mostly because coronavirus is just not a very good virus. It's like any virus. The cold virus, which is literally one of the most contagious viruses on the planet, lands on something and it's just hanging out going, yep, next guy that touches me, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. You're going to get sick. I'm going to get you. And it's sitting there waiting around. And after 15 minutes, it's like, oh, crud. And by and large, it is one dead duck because it's just not going to be able to do it anymore. So after, 15 seconds, it is a dead duck. It's no longer a good virus, but it is not dead. A virus can live outside the body for like 3 days, but it might not be a communicable virus. That said, the coronavirus is really more dangerous to,
Parental discretion is advised.
No, it's not like that, sound guy. It's not like that at all. No. Okay. What it is literally,
The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
frank and explicit is not even here, okay? Frank went out the door a long time ago. So anyway, literally what it is it's for people with compromised immune systems, older persons, persons with bad health, persons with, any kind of AIDS or, any kind of immunological issues. Those are the guys who are first to crash and burn for any disease. It doesn't matter if it's coronavirus or colds or anything else. And if you want to get down and dirty, the classic statement always has been, colds used to be deadly. When you caught the cold years ago, you were a dead duck. You would get that thing and you were done. So what happened is the classic statement on any virus is viruses mutate. And there's a reason why viruses mutate. In your body, you have DNA. Now, in a virus really is just like a little packet of nothing but, immunological material called RNA. Now, RNA... Here's the kicker. RNA mutates literally every 48 minutes. It is an entirely new bug going, let's see if I can't fit myself into this little keyway in the cell. Nope, I'm not going. Nope. Let me mutate some more. I'm hanging out here in the body. The body's got these great little things going on. There's all kinds of sugar and there's all kinds of good stuff to hang out in and all those nice wet surroundings. And yeah, this is cool stuff. Oh, look, I've mutated. I fit. And that's when you get sick. So after you've gotten sick, it says, cool, I'm now sick. And it goes, by the way, I'm going to hand myself off to all these other little guys, and we're all going to mutate. Well, we all become viruses. So the RNA packet in a virus then spreads itself around, and then guess what? It mutates every 48 minutes in the new viruses as well. So it's always changing up. And your body's like, oh, snap. The time that you are sick and the time that you are recovering is the time it took your body to go, got you. I know what you're up to. I know how you work now. I can kick your ass. So that's literally what happens is your body's figured out the little keyways and it's gotten into the virus. The T cells have said, we can eat this now. We've identified this as a threat. And that's when your body's defenses attack, kill, and wipe out the virus. Well, the problem is that was just that one style of virus that your body has now gotten immunity to. 48 minutes of mutation through a couple billion people. Do the math. Eventually, you're going to get it again. It's going to be an entirely new bug, and it's going to go, hi, you don't remember me. I'm the new guy. I got in here, and you can't fight me off because I am the new bug. So that's literally the problem is the bug gets in there, and he's just a new critter going to town, and your body has to figure out a new way to fight it, and you're sick yet again. Now, when you get a flu shot, what happened is your body's gotten a precursor to say, look, man, this is the kind of stuff we think you're going to be dealing with, and your body goes, all right, well, I'm not so sure I can fight this stuff off all at once, but at least you've given me a clue of what I might be facing. So anyway, that's literally it. Excuse me 1 second here. Sinuses, gotta love them. So anyway, case in point is they now have gotten themselves to the point where they are kind of looking out for what it is. Is the flu shot a cure? No. It is a precursor to tell your body something is coming down the pike. Now, what's going on in China is the idiots eating the animals that you never ever should eat. Bats. Also known as das Fledermaus, the flying mice. Bats are really, really not your best food animal. They carry all kinds of skeevy little things. They can be rabid. Yes, they're fun as hell to watch, flying around and eating all the bugs. That's their job, okay? Let them do what they need to do. Don't eat the bats. Well, in China, they eat all kinds of strange stuff, and they're eating the bats, and that's literally what's going on and why we are dealing now with the coronavirus, is they were eating bats. Ugh, stupid. Just stupid. Speaking of stupid, and I don't know why this is, but supposedly in Australia, Aussie teenagers are having half as much sex as their parents. Why? Because they're millennials stuck on their phones, farting around versus basically he and she and like they should be. Now, here's the thing. They seem to have this same problem in like Japan. You know, the kids are more into like checking out like anime and, you know, hentai and all that other crazy stuff versus actually going out and doing it for reals. Now, I don't know what would basically make them switch up and go, nah, I don't really want to play with the female plumbing. Dude, what's so wrong with the female plumbing, okay? It's out there. It's good. Try it. You might like it. But no, they really are like a large proportion of them are still like never done it. I don't understand where these guys are coming from, but I don't know, man. As much foibles and crazy stuff I've been through, like Hean and Sheehan, it's still more fun than not Hean and Sheehan, okay? Trust me on that one. Not having is not nearly as much fun as having. having is better, okay? That's going to be a story I posted up there on the 23rd. And even my Aussie friends are like, yeah, well, the Aussie girls or women can be aggressive. Dude, bring them on. Bring them on. Aggressive chicks don't scare me. Let's see. Scrolly. If you guys don't know what the Shut Show is on, it's been really, really cool. Catch up on it. All kinds of good information, like YouTube videos, what have you. Awesome stuff. Speaking of somebody heeing and sheeing, and I do mean this contentedly as one person heeing and sheeing. Wow. Okay, this is the guy. I'm just gonna say guy. Okay, dude is like, you know, dressing up like a girl that thinks he's a guy, or guy thinks he's a girl, and trust me, this is like the truck driver trying to go, yeah, I'm an American Beauty pageant girl. No. It's like Fred Flintstone dresses up as a chick. This does not work. But anyway, this person is a transgender activist who was the one suing over the bikini wax access, trying to get his junk waxed. And the chicks were like, no, don't do that. I don't do guys. I do girls only. Well, here's the thing. This is reported on January 23rd. On Wednesday night, transgender activist Jessica Yaniv, I'm just going to say Messica because she's a mess, was arrested and charged with assault against Canadian reporter Kian Bexte. The video recorded by the rebels Bexte last week. Yaniv appeared to shove and punch the journalist outside of British Columbia courts. Well, there's a slight problem. There's cameras everywhere around the courthouse. So according to the reporter, Yaniv is famous for suing women who would not wax his junk. Quote, spent time behind bars on the charge of assault, end quote, the Post-Millennial noted. The activist is reportedly now facing up to 5 years behind bars in the clink. Quote, Bexte, being the alleged victim in the particular case, was able to confirm the arrest Wednesday afternoon, end quote, the outlet reported. Yaniv has been ordered to cease all contact with me, both directly and indirectly, the reporter said. I can't wait for the day when Yaniv is put away for the long haul. He is dangerous and unpredictable. Yaniv just punched me in the back of the head. I just spoke to police. Luckily, there were 2 security cameras directly overhead of the courthouse. I need an Advil. Following Yaniv's court appearance in the courthouse in Surrey, I approached him outside where filming is allowed. I had one question. I wanted to know if he was pleading guilty or not. Okay. That's not a presumptuous thing to walk up to somebody and ask somebody like that. It's like, excuse me, can I ask you a question? Are you going to be pleading guilty or not? That's a standard reporter question, man. I'm sorry. If you want to say I'm not into it, no comment. Bye. Want to know if he was pleading guilty or not. Reporter told the Daily Wire. Within several seconds, Yaniv charged me and punched me in the back of my head while holding me down. Police have been reluctant to charge him before, so I am speaking to legal counsel to figure out options to make sure this menace sees justice. Wow. Wow. Filed 15 human rights complaints against female estheticians in Canada for refusing to wax his junk. However, in October, the Justice Center, and I do mean center like you Canadian guys spell center, C-E-N-T-R-E. I know you're going to say that's the correct way to spell it, but Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, a group that represented 5 of the women targeted by Yaniv, announced that the activist cases against their clients have been tossed by the British Columbia Human Rights Tribunal. Moreover, Yaniv was instructed to pay $2,000 Canadian each to at least 3 of the women. Quote, the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, the JCCF, is pleased to announce the BC Human Rights Tribunal has ruled in favor, and I love the favor, you spell favor with a U, ruled in favor of the home estheticians' rights to refuse to handle male junk against their will. And they're saying genitalia, but I'm saying junk. A press release from the JCCF said, the Pulse Millennium reported, according to the group, the tribunal's decision said that, quote, human rights legislation does not require a service provider to wax a type of genitalia they are not trained for or over and have not consented to wax, end quote, the Daily Wire noted. Yeah, if you just walk up to a chick and go, hi, how you doing? Take a look at this. They're going to go, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Take that out. So anyway, dude whipped junk out and said, yeah, wax me up. And the girl was like, no, not going to do it. So over the summer, Yaniv was pressed by Irish broadcaster Niall Boylan on the Niall Boylan Show about the quest to have female estheticians wax male genitals. The activist seemingly hung up mid-interview. Well, yeah, he's trying to basically make something that is what it isn't and try to cash in on it, I guess. Quote, now you believe in God. I respect the fact that you believe in God, and I respect your point of view, and I respect your belief in your faith in God. That doesn't mean I have to believe in God. Do you understand the point? Boylan asked. I do, answered Yaniv. Quote, some people may respect you, and some people may respect you, and you may respect you want to be called Jessica, but they just don't believe it, the host continued. I'll call him Jessica. I'll respect that, but I don't believe it, and I don't buy into it. So, what you're essentially asking these women to do, a service on you, is that they don't believe it. They don't want to handle a man's genitalia. Is that fair? I am protected under the BC Human Rights Code, Yaniv responded. And these women are also protected. They're protected to have a right to say no, Boylan interjected. They don't, the activist answered, because essentially, why, do your rights trump theirs? Yaniv said the tribunal was coming to a balancing act to see how rights play out in the whole thing. The host told Yaniv that was his main concern. Yaniv should be free to live his life how he chooses, or how the female estheticians do. Not when you discriminate against the rights of others, Yaniv protested. They'll argue that you're not discriminating. They're saying, I'm sorry, we don't supply a service of removal of hair from genitalia that's from a man. If that's what they're saying, they're using the shouldn't be forced to do that. That was the end of the interview. Yaniv was no longer on the line. Logic. It's such a scary prospect to some people. Well, anyway, that guy got busted. He's looking at 5 years in the clink, and maybe he'll get to be the girl, but he's going to be the girl in jail. That's right. He might just be the girl in jail, and, well, yeah, he might just actually get just a little bit more than he considered what he wanted on that one. That just might be just a bit more.
But I pooped from there.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, sound guy, but he might just get a little bit more than he was counting on. You might be doing a little bit of that too. I don't know. Pick a direction. Oh no. You Canadian guys are dealing with Harry and Meghan now. Oh, Okay, I know what this news story is. I can tell you in a nutshell what it is. Essentially, they were walking around. They're used to being in the public eye. Now that they're in Canada, they're like, hey, you photography guys, you paparazzi guys, you can't be taking our picture anymore. And supposedly, I think that they actually got, like, the authorities involved, and the authorities were like, oh, okay, sure, we'll take your side because you're a member of the royal family, and we're kind of beholden to the royal family, so we'll tell the news guys, the paparazzi, to stop chasing you around and taking your picture. You've taken enough pictures of those guys. Really, just go away. Just leave them alone. I mean, you know, when the Queen gets sick of your crap, Meghan, it's time to go. It is time to go. I'm surprised she didn't stick the corgis on them. Let's see. Oh, this one cracked me up. It's kind of a long, hard-to-read article, but it's on conservativefighters.org. As feminists are now freaking out, discovering that men don't want to date, quote-unquote, woke women. I'm going to translate that most exactly. It's simply saying men don't want to date, they just don't want to date a bitch. That's it. They do not want to date a chick that's a total pain in the ass bitch. That's it. They just don't want to date that kind of a chick. And they're going, well, these guys are racist. They're sexist. They're homophobe. They're this, that, and the other thing. That's the problem. That's the problem right then and there, okay? When you wave all these things over the guy's head and you're going, well, you're all these other things that I don't like, but I want you to date me. The guy's going to say, you know what? You're too much of a pain in the ass. I'm not dealing with you. You're a bitch. And they're going to leave. That's it exactly. On the other side of things, the British scientists, and I don't know who's going to come up with it first. Is it going to be the Brits? Is it going to be the Japanese? Is it going to be the Israelis? I don't know who's going to come up with it first, but the Brits may have found a cure for cancer. And literally, the reason why cancer is a pain in the ass is mostly the fact that your body just can't identify it as a threat. It just goes, yeah, there's something here, but it doesn't look like anything we really got to worry about. We're just going to hang out here, and we're just going to watch it grow and take over. And yeah, well, it's really a problem now, but we still don't know what to do to it. So essentially what they figured out is they figured out a way to cheat the T cells. And they were looking for immune cells that could fight bacteria, and they found an entirely new type of T cell. That's cool. And the thing is, this new immune cell carries a never-before-seen receptor that acts like a grappling hook, latching on to most human cancers while ignoring the healthy cells. That's badass. So you now have something that's specifically going, no. That's cancer. That's cancer. Come here. The cancer's like, dude, no, I'm cool. No, you can ask all these other T cells. I'm fine. There's no reason in the world to have anything to do with me. All these other T cells are great with me. And the T cells are, yeah, he's cool, man. You know, we know he's cancer, but we can't do anything. You know, he's like, you know, like the protected embassy guy. We just can't do anything, okay? You know, we go to the door, we look at him, and we go, hey, how you doing? He goes, hi, I'm cancer. We're like, yeah, we know you're cancer, but we can't do anything. So this T cell walks up and goes, guys, that's cancer. And he's like, yeah, we know it's cancer. It's like, no, you don't understand. That's cancer. I'm going to take it out. But, well, he's all right. No, it's not. Let me handle this, okay? You guys just hang back. I got this. So, literally what happens is that this is so exciting to prior therapies, it's referred to as CAR-T or TCR-T therapy, which uses immune cells attached to the HLA molecules on the cancer surface, fights cancer, but are incapable of fighting solid tumors. Well, this new guy just rouses on it and just tears it a new one. So literally now we're on the cusp of maybe seeing the end of cancer. Now if we see the end of heart disease, that'd be like two of the biggest killers for human beings right now. Then if we find Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and neurological issues besides that, we're looking pretty freaking good, man. We're looking like, you know, okay, everything's now working. All we need now is basically figured out, like, you know, the telemeters. Well, literally what those are is the little guys that are inside your cells, and every time your cell reproduces, it hacks off a piece of telemeter. It goes, oh, I'm shorter now. Hacks off another piece. Until finally you run out of telemeter, and you're done. That cell dies. Well, enough of the cells die, and they're not reproducing, you die. So we're not trying to make a cell live forever, because that is truly cancer. But you can make the cells able to reproduce and have long telomeres. That means that the cells will give you a much longer life. So this is all good stuff. And I got to tell you, the next story that I posted this up on the 24th, and it is nothing but funny. And it's from Google.com, and it's an image, and it says, thanks to the Face app, we now can reverse Nancy Pelosi's 17 facelifts. Dude, she looks like a wrinkled old apple, okay? That's the only thing I can tell you is like the closest approximation. But, wow, she looks like Granny. She looks like, seriously like Granny. And I cannot do it justice. You guys can look down at my timeline for that one. It's on January 24th. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. This one was one I showed to a friend of mine, and he busted out laughing, and he knew immediately what it was. Now, if you guys see the emblem and the logo, the patch now for the Space Force, it looks very, very strikingly, spectacularly, maybe more than just a passing resemblance to the Starfleet Command logo. Right, Federation of Planets. I'm sure that CBS/Paramount is probably not real happy with that one right now, but I'll tell you what, it is more than a passing resemblance. And as soon as I saw the Space Force emblem, I was like, holy crap, that looks like Starfleet. I didn't even have to see the two side by side. I knew it was just that close. They posted up on the 24th. And it's funny, but it's not funny. I think, probably they could come up with something maybe just a little bit better than that, but it is what it is. Let's see. Scrolly. Supposedly, this one kind of tickled me a little bit. Obama's growing increases intervening. Dude, you had 8 years. You've done all the intervention that you ever need to do, okay? Do us all a favor and just don't intervene, okay? Find something else to do. Find a hobby. Grow flowers. Pick daisies. Do something, okay? But you intervening in the next upcoming presidential election is something you really don't need to do. Just pack a lunch and go somewhere, okay? You got better things to do, and you're not that guy, okay? Now, the other side of the aisle of stuff that's kind of somber, but yet, one of those good things that, we really, truly love to hear about, but yet it saddens us in the process. A World War II Marine who was killed has now been rejoined, and he's now going to be properly buried in Arlington. So he was killed during WW2, and I think apparently somebody was probably scanning with maybe one of those metal detectors, and they found his rosary. So the rosary was still in a wooden box, and eventually they found his, what was left of his remains, and he was transported in. He landed at the local airport to me, which is BWI, Baltimore Washington International Airport, and of course then interred, fairly short order, I would think, into a final resting place in Arlington National Cemetery, which is where our military heroes do live forever. Let's see. Democrats are freaking out in the Senate. There's some that are thinking of switching sides. That's always fun. I love this meme, and I put it up here on the 26th, and it's a meme from Tim Young, which is at Tim Runs His Mouth, and it says, quote, "Gotta love it when CNN's highest paid person shows up to support conservatives." And it's Nicholas Sandman, the guy that just won the huge settlement. So we know he won a lot of cash, even though he can't talk about it, but he's the highest CNN paid person. That's just fun stuff. Scrolly. This one tickled me a little bit, mostly because this shows the sheer shallow vapidity of your standard socialist Democrat water carrier, call him what you will, but CNN analyst admits Trump is winning the impeachment trial. Admits he's winning. He's winning. But he has too many white lawyers. I gotta find the proper sound effect for that one. Hang on a second here. Let me find the proper sound effect. He has too many white lawyers in his team. Oh. Yeah. You got nothing else to complain about, but, all of them white guys are being too effective. Yeah, you should have some other races on there to knock them down and make the playing field more even. You know what the thing is? Here's the part that really tends to just chap my butt a little bit about the way these guys say these things. The way these guys say these things is exactly this. He didn't even realize that it was the most disgustingly racist thing for him to just say right then and there. What he said, essentially, is you can only win with white guys, because as soon as you put any other race on your team, you have just diminished the ability for you to fight effectively, and any other lawyer could not possibly defend you. You are boned. Only a white guy can get you out of trouble. He didn't even realize just how racist he was. Yeah. Wow. I'm not going to get back into the whole coronavirus thing, but some of the numbers these guys are quoting, it's just absolutely just ridiculous. And that's not the scariest thing in the world. The scariest thing in the world is not the dark. That's from a meme I'm reading. It's not the dark. It's not clowns. It's not sharks. It is not serial killers. And it's not even death itself. The scariest thing on the planet Earth is when the bathroom doorknob starts wiggling when you're dropping a deuce and you forgot to lock it. That's the scariest thing on the planet Earth. Let's see. Scrolly. Some of the stuff, it's just rehashing. I'm not going to get into the coronavirus anymore. I'm just done with that. I do love this one picture, and I put the quote in here. I'm really going to have to clean this up for, airworthiness, because I'm a little bit more blatant. I put stuff in my, Facebook timeline, but I don't broadcast with too many of the 7 dirty words. As a matter of fact, I don't broadcast with any of them. But anyway, there's this picture of Schumer, Pelosi, and my local doofus. Hang on a second. I even forgot his name. Let's see. Oh, no. You know what? That's the problem too. Is I forget his name because he just really doesn't come to. I just don't even really know. Oh, it was Van Hollen. No, it's not Van Hollen or Cardin. Oh, who's this guy? He's it's gonna drive me nuts. Let's see. Sarbanes? No, it's not Sarbanes. That's a local guy. It's like Schroyer or it's gonna drive me nuts. Hang on, Steny Hoyer, that's who it is. Steny Hoyer. I gotta keep myself honest on this one, because if you don't know who your representatives are, you really won't know who not to vote for. So anyway, it's Schumer, Pelosi, and Senator or House Member Hoyer, and they're all sitting there and they have these kind of really unhappy expressions. And let me clean it up and make it newsworthy so I can put it over the airwaves here, the internet as it were. They all look like they've taken a bite of a crap sandwich or stuck chewing and now have to force themselves to swallow. And underneath the header of that picture, with all of them kind of sitting there like, underneath it says, "Does it look like they're winning?" Yep. They got the crap sandwich, and they're like, "Yeah, this is a really crap sandwich. I wish we used more bread. That way, we wouldn't taste the crap so much." Also, going back to Binh Minh, he's looking to maybe be court-martialed. He needs to get booted out. Let me close out. I got a couple more stories here. No, I'm not going to get into one of these other goofballs. I'm going to close on a lighter note here, mostly because this story had me in tears laughing. And I passed it on to Mrs. Dude, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, that's really, really hilarious." What's going on is there's a first grade teacher by the name of Anna Trupiano at the school that serves deaf, hard of hearing, and hearing students from birth through 8th grade. In addition to teaching the usual subjects, Trupiano is charged with helping her students thrive in society that doesn't know enough to cater to the needs of hard of hearing. Recently, Trupiano had to teach her students about a rather personal topic, passing gas in public. Just give me 1 second. The story opens. A 6-year-old child farted so loud in class that some of the classmates began to laugh. The child was surprised by the reaction because they don't know farts make a sound. They're deaf. This created a wonderful and funny teaching moment for Trupiano. Trupiano shared the conversation on Facebook. Today in first grade, one of my deaf students farted loudly in class, and the other students tuned to look at him. The following is a snippet of the 15-minute conversation that happened entirely in American Sign Language among this group of deaf students and I. Kid 1, why are they looking at me? Me, because they heard you fart. Kid 1, what do you mean? Me, hearing people can hear farts. Kid number 2, totally horrified. Wait, they can hear all farts? Kid number 2, totally horrified. Wait, they can hear all farts. Me, well, no, not all farts, but some of them, yes. Kid number 3, how do you know which farts you can hear and which farts they can't? Me, You know, sometimes you feel your butt move when you fart. A lot of those they can hear, but if your butt doesn't move, it's more likely they didn't hear that. Kid number 1, tell them to stop listening to my farts. That is not nice. Me, hearing kids can't stop hearing farts. It just happens. Kid number 2, I will stop farting then. Me, everyone farts. It is healthy. You can't stop. Kid number 3, wait, everyone? Even my mom? Me, yep. Kid number 2, my dad? Yep. Kid number 1, you? Me, yep. Kids laughing hysterically. Kid number 1, so you can hear and smell all the farts? Me, some of the farts, yes, not all of them. Kid number 2, can hearing people see farts? Kid number 1, so you can hear and smell all the farts, see some of the farts, yes, can hearing people see farts? Kid number 3, yeah, green smoke comes out of their butt, I saw it on TV. Me, that doesn't happen in real life. Kid number 1, what? Ugh, I don't understand farts. And then she finally closes out, I went to college for 8 years to have these conversations. I think the part that had me literally rolling on the floor in laughter is like the one kid, stop listening to my farts, all indignant and whatnot. That to me, that was just comic gold. Truly, truly comic gold. All right, so folks, I'm going to close out on this one. Of course, you know, you go over to the good stuff here. Go over to aroundthecabin.com. Around the Cabin also on Facebook. Around the Cabin Food, Around the Cabin News, Around the Cabin School Self-Reliance, Around the Cabin Buy, Sell, and Trade. Of course, we have Around the Gardens Gate, Around the Cabin Medicinal Cannabis. Of course, you can find me on YouTube as 80s Podcast Channel. Of course, you can find me on Twitter as 80SPCC. And good stuff like that there. Appreciate your kind attention. You guys have many other places to go to. And you guys hung out with me, and you get a gold star for attendance because, well, you did it on a Tuesday where there was like all this other cool stuff going on, but you hung out with me. By the way, if you guys get to catch a recap of Donald Trump's New Jersey speech, watch it. They said the crowd there was in excess of 175,000. So much for the blue state of New Jersey. That was southern New Jersey, and 175,000 people showed up. That's a hell of a turnout for a very red state. I'm sorry, very blue state. It's a hell of a turnout. So I would tend to think that things are already looking pretty interesting, and the Democrats are more than slightly worried, which is why they want to really crank up this impeachment as much as they possibly can, because they might find something. Yeah, whatever. All right, I'm going to break up this one, folks. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to break off, and like I usually say, eat good, keep tendering, as always, you know, and you love it. And I'll catch you guys next time, and have a good week. See you guys. And wait for the thing to end. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, don't listen to my farts. I cannot tell you how much that cracked me up. Don't listen to my farts. All right, folks, I'll catch you guys next week. I'm going to break up on this one. Ego, everything as always, you know it, you love it. And you guys got the background scenery and going on stuff and good stuff like that there on the YouTube side. Catch you guys next week, and these will post up weekly. I don't know if I'm doing any other YouTube videos right now. Right now, of course, YouTube's me a total pain in the ass. I got like $70 in my AdSense that it's like, nope, you haven't earned any AdSense. And it's like, never mind the fact I'm still getting views on like my larger, you know, many, you know, millions of views videos. But Facebook, Facebook is free. YouTube is free to post on. So YouTube, you can bite me. I'm going to break over this one, guys. Have a good one. I'll catch you guys later, and see you guys later. So,